Cop dad knew husband killed wife but couldn't prove it until he killed again. My dad was a police officer. One night, he was called to a scene where a woman had been shot in the head. Her husband claimed she had been cleaning his gun when it accidentally went off. My dad immediately knew something was off. First, the gun was a revolver, which meant she would have had to pull the hammer back before it could fire. Second, the bullet had entered the top of her head, which was a strange angle for an accident. My dad was convinced the husband had killed her, but there was no evidence to prove it. The case was closed as an accident. Years later, my dad was at a bar when he ran into the husband. The man was drunk and started talking to my dad. He said he knew my dad was the officer who had investigated his wife's death. Then he said, "You know, I really loved my wife. I would never have hurt her, but if I had, I would have gotten away with it." My dad was furious, but there was still no evidence to reopen the case. He had to let it go. Then, a few years later, the husband was arrested for killing his second wife in the exact same way. This time, he was convicted and sentenced to life in prison.